Have you ever had that feeling, that deep in your gut feeling, that you're not alone, even when you know, logically, you should be? I live in a quiet suburban town in New Jersey, in a house that's about 100 years old. I love old houses, the creaks, the history, the character, but this one had something else. It all started in the upstairs bathroom. The first night I moved in, I was unpacking boxes, exhausted. I went upstairs, used the bathroom, flicked the light switch off, and went back downstairs. A few minutes later, I glanced up the staircase and saw a sliver of light from under the bathroom door. I thought, guess I forgot. I went up, turned it off again, and made sure I heard the click. I went back to my boxes, and not 5 minutes later, the light was on again. I dismissed it as faulty wiring. Old house, right? It's to be expected. I just unscrewed the light bulb for the night and forgot about it. The second night was different. I'd screwed the bulb back in, hoping the issue had magically fixed itself. It hadn't. The light flickered on and off at random intervals, but this time, there was a sound. A low electrical humming. It wasn't the normal buzz of a fluorescent bulb. It was deeper, more resonant, almost like a vibration I could feel in the floorboards. I stood outside the door, listening to this strange hum, feeling a little prickle of unease on my arms. Again, I chalked it up to bad wiring, made a mental note to call an electrician, and unscrewed the bulb. On the third night, the weirdness escalated. I hadn't even bothered with the light bulb this time. I kept the bathroom door shut. As I was walking past it to go to my bedroom, a puff of warm, humid air hit my face, like someone had just taken a hot shower. The air smelled faintly of ozone, that scent right after a lightning strike. I touched the door. It was cold. I opened it, and the room was freezing, much colder than the hallway. The mirror was fogged over in one perfect circle, right in the center, as if someone had been breathing on it. My own breath wasn't even fogging in the cold air. That's when the simple explanation of faulty wiring started to feel inadequate. I couldn't sleep that night. Every creak of the house sounded like a footstep. Every gust of wind sounded like a whisper. The next day, I called the police. I know it sounds dramatic, but I was starting to get genuinely scared. I thought maybe there was a squatter or someone had tampered with the house. I told them I thought someone might be getting into my house and messing with the electricity. 2 officers came, bless their hearts. They were professional, but I could tell they thought I was a paranoid new homeowner. They checked the windows, the doors, the attic, the basement. Everything was secure. They looked at the bathroom wiring, or at least what they could see from the switch plate and the fixture. They saw nothing wrong, probably just old wiring, ma'am. One of them said, "You should get an electrician to take a proper look." They left, and I was alone again, feeling more foolish than frightened. But the feeling didn't last. That was the 4th night. The night I'll never forget. I was determined to figure it out. Was I going crazy? Was the house playing tricks on me? I decided to conduct an experiment. I screwed the light bulb in, a brand new one this time, and left the bathroom door wide open so I could see it from the hallway. I stood at the end of the hall, my phone recording, my heart hammering against my ribs. For almost an hour, nothing happened. The light stayed off. The silence was heavy, absolute. I was starting to feel ridiculous, standing there in my pajamas, filming an empty bathroom. I was just about to give up, to laugh at myself and go to bed, and then it happened. It wasn't a sudden flick. The light began to turn on. Slowly, the filament inside the bulb didn't just flash to life. It started with a faint, deep orange glow, like a dying ember. Over the course of about 10 seconds, it intensified, brightening from orange to yellow, then to a brilliant, sterile white. It was silent, no click from the switch, no electrical hum, just a slow, deliberate, impossible illumination. I was frozen, watching this unfold on my phone screen. The most chilling part, the switch on the wall was still in the off position. I could see it clearly from where I stood, and then I saw the shadow. As the light reached its full brightness, a shadow was cast on the wall opposite the door. It was the shape of a hand, a long, slender hand, and the shadow was moving away from the light switch, as if someone had just finished turning it on. From inside the wall, I didn't scream. I didn't even breathe. I just slowly backed away, down the stairs, and out the front door. I didn't grab a jacket. I didn't grab my keys. I just ran. I spent that night in a hotel rewatching the video on my phone over and over, trying to make sense of what I saw. The slow blooming light, the shadow of the hand. The next day, I hired an electrician, a priest, and a paranormal investigation team. I'm kidding, mostly. I did hire an electrician, a very old, very experienced one. He took one look at the wiring, tested the circuits, and looked at me with a very serious expression. He said, "There's nothing wrong with this wiring. It's old, but it's solid. But I'll tell you something. I wouldn't spend another night in this house. I didn't. I broke my lease and moved out the next week. I never found out what was in that bathroom or what it wanted. Sometimes I still watch that video. The quality is grainy, but the glowing light and the shadow of that hand are perfectly clear. Some things, I've learned, don't need an explanation. They just are. And sometimes, the smartest thing you can do is just turn around, walk away, and don't look back, especially when the light turns on by itself. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've had any experiences like this, I'd be fascinated to read them in the comments below. Stay safe out there, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more strange tales. See you next time.